let's look at Bitcoin Gold versus the US dollar. First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of today by liking and subscribing. So BTG/USD is the ticker. So Bitcoin Gold for everyone, for everything. So it's a cryptocurrency with Bitcoin fundamentals mined on common GPUs instead of specialty ASICs. ASICs tend to monopolize mining to a few big players, but GPU mining means anyone can mine again, restoring decentralization and independence. GPU mining rewards go to individuals worldwide instead of mostly to ASIC warehouse owners, recreating network effects that Bitcoin used to have. So this is, about going back to the roots of the movement, which I definitively think is, interesting and noble. So here are the weekly data points. We had, of course, the big move and the big crash, and now we have seen a very, very strong recovery. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 weeks now of wins, gain on gain on gain. Yeah, I think it is time to maybe tighten your stops a bit, not get greedy, because this has been really good though. This has been too easy. Yeah, way too easy. So we do also see some interesting developments here in today's candlestick. So we do have a bit of an exhaustion happening here, a bit similar to what we had here, and then we did have a pullback to the 20-day moving average. We had some exhaustion here, but just the modest weakness. Here we had some exhaustion, and then we did have a substantial pullback. Here a very clear exhaustion candlestick, big pullback. Exhaustion, of course, that was pretty epic. Exhaustion candlestick here. Of course, there are more specific names for these kinds of candlesticks, but I categorize them broadly as exhaustion candlesticks because the key part of these candlesticks, their nature is that you have the price goes up, and then the bulls give a bunch back, which begs the question: why weren't there buyers up there? What happened to them? And that is a very clear sign that it's time to take profits. This day is not over yet, but this is very classic exhaustion candlestick. And yeah, as we saw, when we look here at the weekly data points, it's been very easy though the last weeks. So it's definitely completely expected for us to have a bit of a pullback. The RSI here has reached a zone that triggered prior pullbacks, as you can see. Even looking further back in history, you see here that it is rare for us to become even more overbought than this. So yeah, definitely, this is an interesting cryptocurrency, but we also need to think a bit, tactically when it comes to price. It's not simply about up or down, it is about how do we go up or how do we go down. So if you view this as, chess between, the bulls and the bears, if the bulls just go up like this and get ridiculous RSI, and then we could have a situation here that is eerily similar to this, where you had Looney Tunes RSI, which led eventually to a very big pullback. What would be better for the bulls is to maybe be very tactical and spend a bunch of time going up, pulling back a bit, and then gradually. I would go so far as to say that maybe we shouldn't make a new all-time high until late into this year, maybe even happening on New Year's Eve. So be very gradual, pull back a bit, and then have the fuel to actually not only break out above these levels, but to use these levels as an easy support level. So yeah, that is what I hope will happen. We do not get seasonality data from stockcharts.com for Bitcoin Gold, but we do get it for Bitcoin. And when it comes to September, over the last 5 years, it is the worst month, which substantially increases the probability that, maybe it's time to, give the bears, some space, because maybe they will come, growling over the hills. Over the last, 8 years, see here that, September is the weakest month because it closes. Yes, it is true that March also closes higher only 29% of the time, but the average loss here for September is bigger. So yes, September is officially, based on the data we have here, it is the weakest month for Bitcoin. So let's quickly look here at... So here we have a bunch of statistical correlations between Bitcoin Gold and, a nice collection of benchmarks. So the way correlations work is that it goes from -1 to +1, or like 1. So -1 would be like a perfect negative correlation, meaning the two products move opposite each other. 1 is a perfect positive correlation where they move together. Okay. So, the correlation long-term weekly data points between Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin is 73%. Hence, the seasonality of Bitcoin is very likely going to have an effect on Bitcoin Gold. Looking here at daily data points, then we do have 69% positive correlation. It could of course be much stronger. So 69, it is strong. They will more or less move together, but there is a sufficient amount of time where they actually will not. If we do look a bit back though, there have been times where the correlation has been stronger, 90, and also, it's been very low sometimes as well, but yeah, I think that, taking all the evidence together, long term, I'm bullish on Bitcoin Gold. I think that at this point, it makes a lot of sense to tighten one's stops. Yeah, it's been great for the last weeks, maybe a bit too great. The seasonality for September is definitively not that good. We are overextended in a bunch of ways, so yeah, time to, be a little bit bearish.